Hey guys, welcome back to another vlog. Um, I don't know if I told you yesterday because I did that video when I was very sleepy. So I was watching Julian's 10 game, and it's infield videos. His infield videos are amazing. And what I mean by that is, his theory is amazing. The 10 laws of game, they're pretty on point. But I feel like you really can't understand the feeling inside your body when you are gaming according to those 10 laws. So, like offering value, what does that mean? Logically, you should be offering good emotion, being real, and all that shit. But deep down inside, you just don't feel that good, and you just don't know what it means. But I remember when I watched Julian's infield videos, I realized that it's given me certain feelings inside my body. Like I just feel good when I'm watching him doing well, when I'm watching him offering value, and as opposed to when I'm watching him taking value. And when I watch him taking value, it just feels ugh, like a bit cringy and stifling. But when I'm watching him offering value, it's kind of inspiring. It makes me feel good. And I definitely had those moments when I'm talking to girls where I feel very inspired, where I feel very free, like this. I hope I could do it more without being a dancing monkey. The thing is, you're doing this for yourself in a way that's very captivating to the audience, to the person you are talking to. And this kind of links to hot seat at home. The exercise he was talking about was kind of like hot seat at home, where you talk with emotion and authority. That was mission one. So when you and I realized that's the mission that really helped me the most. And I remember when I was watching Julian's exercise video one, and it was this Asian guy who talked with a monotone, and that's exactly the kind of tonality that I have. And what I realized is that maybe all Asian dudes whose English is not their first language, they will always speak with a monotone. And it's very hard to do a variation in their frequency and their volume and their pitch, their tonality when they're speaking in English. And that's something I'm working on right now. As you can tell from the past 30 videos, I hope they're getting better in terms of my expression of myself. But yeah, today I was kind of very tired because last night I stayed, as you can probably watch from the previous video, last night I stayed up too late and I had to wake up very early today in order to get to the hospital. We had an early surgery this morning, and it was underwhelming, to be honest. It wasn't that impressive. We just watched how to put people to sleep under general anesthetic, and we just learn how to control their airway to make sure they're still breathing when you put them to sleep, because all their muscles are relaxed. They can't feel anything. They can't remember anything. Now I remember the last time I was under general anesthetic, also the only time. I remember it was such a weird feeling. I remember I got on the table, the surgery table. I lie down, and I was just talking to the surgeons and the nurse, and they were trying to make me feel relaxed. And I remember a few seconds or the last in that few minutes before they put me to sleep, I was feeling very anxious, to be honest. Like, you know how in the theater they have those machines that beep, and it tells you about the patient's heart rate. And I was listening to those beats, and those beats were going up. I was like, "Fuck, is my heart rate going up?" And the more I think about it, the more I thought about it, the more it went up. I was like, "Fuck, downward spiral." But it was no problem. They inject something very cold and stingy into my arm, and I was knocked out in 2 seconds. And the next thing I knew, I was awake. I very relaxed, very tired. I wish every time I sleep, I can sleep like that, like so freaking relaxed. I wish, yeah, I wish I would have so many good nights sleep if I sleep like that. Cause one thing I found is that whenever I, like these days, I don't know when it started, but when I'm sleeping these days, I wake up at 5:30, and it doesn't matter what time I went to bed. Well, unless I went to bed at really late hours, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But otherwise, if I usually wake up around 5:30 or 6ish, or no, around those time. And what I found very strange is I'll wake up and I'll still be tired, and it will be very hard for me to go back to sleep. I mean, I could still manage to go back to sleep, but it won't be that high quality of sleep. And I've been trying to figure out why that is. But I just can't. I reckon it could be because I probably have sleep apnea or some shit. I don't really snore. No one has ever complained that I snore. But I feel like sometimes I stop breathing when I'm sleeping. And now that sounds a bit weird, but it's true though. If we're like, what the fuck? This guy stops breathing when he's sleeping? Who the fuck does that? And yeah. Otherwise, I would love to sleep all day. I'm actually going to bed early today. That's something I promised myself. Because today in the afternoon, I was so tired. Like, I was literally falling asleep in a clinic when I was observing the consultant. A good thing is that he didn't catch me sleeping, or I would not make a very good impression on him. And that's the thing, when you're in that kind of professional environment, you always try to think of ways you could impress your boss, your superior. And you could never really, before I started learning this, I could never really understand the dynamics that's in play, but now I could. And another thing that I have learned from watching Julian Infield is that man to woman vibe you should be having right from the beginning, or as soon as possible. And that vibe is something that I'm missing because I'm just blocking myself from expressing it. And it could be, I don't want to talk about techniques because that's in the doing, but technique wise, it's just like fun, and talk about falling in love with her, and all that kind of stuff. It's nothing too crazy like you would imagine, because I remember in the beginning of my seduction career, I was thinking about, oh my god, how do I flirt? How do I say stuff that will count as flirting? But I remember even when I said those stuff, it just wasn't working out. Like the girls and the vibe, something was just not right. But then I remember there was a big turning point where I started to focus on the sub communication, especially my eye contact and voice and tonality during the date. And I remember those. I remember that's what was the key, and I remember back then I didn't really bought any seduction dating products or had any kind of coaching. So I'm glad I kind of figured that out. But as you know, you can easily get stuck into the doing, which is sometimes which is something that every guy falls back into when they're doing game. So there's that. And today, in the morning, kind of just like try to say good morning to every stranger I see, or the couple stranger that was up as early as I was, just going to work. I realized that most of the time, when you think you get rejected, you're not really getting rejected at all. What's happening is that they can't hear you. They just can't hear you, and you're not. The five most important thing about communicating clearly is, like I said before, have a range of expression. What's your tonality? What's your frequency of your voice? Doesn't matter if it's high pitch, low pitch. Doesn't matter as long as it's a range and you're not monotoned. And also watch your speed. They are also very important as well. Then the other thing is, are you smiling? Or are you not? You should always be. I wouldn't say you should always be smiling, but you should always work on yourself so that your baseline is happiness, or at least above neutral, or above sadness. But always embrace what you're feeling, and the faster you can embrace that, the easier it is to get to that place. And the third one is, are you facing her square up to the girl? Don't turn aside, which is something I found that I sometimes do, and I thought I was calibrating, but in fact I wasn't. It's just something that I think it was like a subconscious thing. You don't want to be clearing your intent, even though you're there to talk to her. So square up, and get close and get far. Kind of move away a bit, and then there's the eye contact, which is the most important thing of all. Now today I had this amazing interaction with this girl. I mean, coming from my point of view, it wasn't that amazing, but it was pretty cool. Like, I've been doing this every day, and these kind of interactions comes and go. And I realized that people don't really give a shit when you're complimenting a girl, as long as your vibe is offering value vibe instead of taking value vibe. So I stopped this very elegant looking Indian girl. I know they don't come by that often. I mean, no offense and not being racist, but there are few Indian girls that are very attractive, or at least the ones that I found attractive. They're far in between. So this girl was quite cute, and so I stopped her and square up, eye contact. And the first thing I want to say was, you just look so elegant, I have to come say hi. And bam, she was in. I remember she was talking a lot without even me probing or anything. She just kept talking. Then I realized that at one point, we just had a bit of fun for like 5 minutes. Then she had to go. I wish I had exchanged number with her, but I didn't beat myself up. I was like, okay, whatever. Next one will come along fast enough. When I got home today, she messaged me on Facebook. She managed to find me on Facebook. Well, we actually had like 6 mutual friends. I didn't know that. I thought we only had 2, but we had 6. So she found me on Facebook, she added me, and I was going to message her, but when I search her on Facebook and click on the message button, that square button on next to the cover photo. So I press on that button and her message box popped out and she already sent me a message. I was like, okay, it was in my other box. And I could have saw that if I didn't want to message her in the first place. So it was kind of like a coincidence that I saw her message. So she messaged me and she told me how amazing it was that I had approached her during the day, and that was very rewarding. I mean, that just shows that if your vibe is offering value and you're being real. Because I was also being real. I was saying I had a pretty bad day today. I was very stressful today. I was being real, and I remember I was about to tell her how bad it was, but then I kind of cut that negative thread because I get a sense that she's a very positive person, and in the message she told me that she wanted to she told me that she appreciated what I did, and she's glad that she's glad she made a new friend. And that was like a warning bell for me because I thought my vibe was very man to woman, but apparently not, or apparently it did. I'll explain why later. And then she told me, then she said, "Oh, I hope you have a good day too." In the end, and I didn't realize that I was that down, but I guess congruent, because I remember after that interaction, I was embracing whatever I was feeling, and I was feeling fucking good. So after that, I messaged her something that will show that I'm more. I have a deck. I'm man to woman. So I told her, no worries. You seem like a very carefree person too, and I absolutely love that. Let's grab coffee sometime. What's your schedule like? And the second time, and she messaged back. She said, "Oh yeah, coffee's cool. We can do sometime next week. But just so you know, I just want to be friends." And at that moment, I feel like my ego was very hurt. Like, did I do something wrong, or did I not be man to woman clear? But then I realized you have to be man to woman. You have to clear about being man to woman in order to get rejected. And rejection is not a bad thing. And I kind of like, yes, I got rejected instead of being put into the friend zone unwillingly. But no, this girl is pretty cool. So I told her, "Oh, you're breaking my heart. I'm gonna tell blah 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 this person, our mutual friend, that you broke my heart." But I said, "Oh, just kidding. It's all good." And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just not in a place to look for a relationship, and that's fine. But I'm very keen to be a friend, though. And you definitely made a good impression on me." I was like, "Okay, friends, fine. I'm fine with friends, actually. I mean, you could learn so much about girls without actually trying to fuck them, although it could go both ways. Doesn't really matter." Yeah. Anyway, that's it for today.